What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller here with another E3 2017 update vid. Tim,
yes,
you just went behind closed doors. You saw God of War, Kratos and Son.
No four there. Yeah,
God of War, Kratos and Son. Did I say 4?
There's no 4. I'm saying there's no 4.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I said God of War 4. I was like, I thought it was pretty clear.
Our boy Cory, he was there.
Barlog?
Cory Barlog.
I kissed him.
He did. It was a weird moment years ago. Anyway, no. He gave the whole demo, and what I really enjoyed about it is this franchise is his baby.
Yeah.
You know, and he cares so much about it. And when we went down to Sony Santa Monica and we did the whole God of War speedrun thing a while back, you can just tell like how much input he has on these games and exactly what he wants it to be. And he kind of talked about how he's a very controlling person, and that you can see that in the evolution of these games and the way that the storyline goes, where it's like God of War, especially the original one, a lot of quick time events, and like that game kind of revolutionized quick time events in a lot of ways.
100%. Yeah.
And he was talking about how he's grown up a bit now, and like he's trying to not be as controlling, and that this God of War is trying to allow the players to play how they want to play. And his whole thing is like he tried to reassemble as much of the original God of War team as possible to come back, obviously way older now, and be like, what does God of War mean to us now, and how can we kind of try to relinquish the control of everything being exactly how we want it to the players, and letting them kind of have their own input on what the game is. That was really exciting to me.
What did you see? You went behind closed doors. What did you see as different?
So, speaking of the control thing, it's like he still is a very controlling dude. He didn't want us to see a gameplay demo because he wanted us to be able to experience it for ourselves. What he did was there was a extended trailer. It was about 7 minutes of just a whole bunch of stuff throughout the game. This game looks very far along.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like when it's early 2018, like I'm expecting pretty damn early.
January, February?
Yeah. It's like it definitely seems super ready. And man, like they said this last year, but the entire game takes place in one camera cut. And he was talking about how, like, so there's no cutting around at all. The camera's always it's one shot, whether it's gameplay or cutscenes or all of that.
Yeah.
And what's exciting about that is he's talking about video games are finally at a point where technically they can accomplish what they see in their head.
Oh, wow. Okay,
like what they're trying to do. So with God of War, it's like what they want to accomplish from a storytelling gameplay perspective, they can finally do because of the power of the PlayStation 4.
Sure.
And he was saying that like this is what differs from video games to movies. Like movies, cuts are a very movie-centric thing, right? TV-centric thing, where it's like you're thinking about how traditional cameras work. Whereas with this, they didn't need to do any of that because video games can be this one continuous shot where it just keeps going. And I love that because the way that the whole thing is shown, the world is so important.
Yeah.
Whereas the previous God of War games really focused on a lot of the gods being there and that being let's get from this god to the next god to the next god.
Right.
This really seemed like now they're more just characters in the world, and the world is this thing where it's not you see over there, you can go there. It's more, I see that in the vista, we know we're gonna get there, and we know we're just gonna keep driving towards that, and our adventure's leading us there. And obviously, it's Kratos and his kid. A lot more characterization of Kratos. It's not just the Calliope.
Calliope!
Yeah, no. It's
Zeus' son has returned.
Family. It's about family.
Oh, God.
No jokes. It really is. And the thing there, it's about Kratos kind of, all the God of War games about him looking back at his past and his past coming back together and all that. But with this, it's more, he now has his future, but he sees himself in his kid. And
that's
he
why
sees
he hates
his weaknesses. Yeah, he sees his weaknesses in the kid.
Yeah.
And he knows he has anger problems and rage problems and all that. So when he sees his kid not being able to handle that, it really hits him hard. And you can tell Cory putting a lot of his own family situation into this.
Okay, that's cool.
But what was interesting about it is that the kid has rage, and it's not that Kratos doesn't want him to be angry. He wants him to be angry. He just wants him to be able to control it. And to be in control of when he unleashes it and when he uses it to fight or whatever. And what's cool about that is in the original God of War games, all the cool stuff you had to wait for the quick time events, and then like, once you do this, and this, then you can throw the guy or
rip
whatever.
the eye out of the
He's like, now we're giving the players the control of the rage. So you can jump right in and use your rage, but anytime you want, that might not be the best choice for whatever you're doing. The action and combat is a lot more, like from seeing it in the trailer, it's a lot more deliberate, and it's less button mashing arcadey, and it seems more like, all right, what's the best way to kind of go about the situation? What I thought was really cool is there's actually a button for the kid, and taking a step back, the thing that made me really happy, he's just like, I know a lot of people think this is going to be a giant escort mission.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not at all. There's no point where the kid is
vulnerable
and in trouble, and like you need to worry about him dying. And
well, that was the thing like, they showed at the conference was the kid jumping on things, stabbing them, shooting arrows.
And so he's just like, yeah, it's not one of those situations where you're gonna need to worry about like this other fucking thing dying and game over and having to start over. But you have control of the kid. There's a button that can make the kid attack. And he's like, so if the kid is vulnerable, it's because you chose to put him in a situation and use him as a weapon.
Okay.
There's skill trees as you go through the game where Kratos can evolve and like get his different weapon upgrades and all that. But there's also skill trees for the kid. So he can learn different abilities so that you can kind of decide when you're fighting and like so depending on if you're going up against 3 guys or 10 guys or 1 guy, what the best scenario is to use between you and the kid fighting.
Gotcha. All right. So he's Robin, Kratos is Batman.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Pretty much. Yeah. So that all seemed cool. A lot of inspirations for this that he was talking about that sound ridiculously like random, but as he was explaining, it all made a lot of sense. He was talking about Labyrinth and Neverending Story being examples of the type of world he wants to build.
Okay.
Where there's a lot of times that you see something like Neverending Story where there'd be like these big monsters and it's like you think that they're bad, but they could be your friend. And we saw that in the trailer that we saw at the PlayStation conference. Where the world serpent, where it came up and like you expect that to be a boss fight because it's God of War, but he's actually the homie and he's like, yo, I'm helping you guys.
Well, maybe he is. I don't trust him.
Yeah. Well,
Giant Serpent Man, I don't trust that at all.
They said that he's good. They said he's homie, but we'll have to see. But it's things like that where it's kind of taking what you expect from God of War, flipping it on its head a bit, where like as you go through the game, there's a lot of things that are similar but different. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's no longer the Greek mythology, we're moving into the Norse mythology. He was talking a lot about how all the gods are essentially politicians, and that when you think about it, there's a whole world going on, and there's just the different countries, the different areas that have their own rules that are decided by the gods, but that Kratos has had influence in all of them somehow, right? Because the gods do govern all of the areas within the world. And he really likes using this as not so much a reboot as much as a continuation, but a great jumping on point for new players or for people that didn't really vibe with God of War for whatever reason.
Oh, when Kratos was one-dimensional, not that cool.
I mean, you're a perfect example. Like, I think this, from what I've seen, I was like, oh, Greg's going to actually
from that trailer, I mean, the thing about it was, for me, it's weird. It was the God of War Ready at Dawn Vita, Vita. What could have been? The God of War PSP games from Ready at Dawn that really, for me, locked it in of like, I don't dig Kratos as much, but I'm enjoying the combat, and that's when I fell in love with that world. It didn't work in 1, 2, I didn't like them, but then the PSP games got me on board for 3, got me on board to go back and try things and remasters, whatever.
Yeah.
But this one, combining with a story, giving me a reason, like even just that debut trailer where his hand goes up and then comes down before he touches his son, I was like, all right, cool, there's something going on here.
And he's saying like that moment is kind of the entire thrust of the game, and it's like, so he talking about inspirations. He was talking about Pixar movies a lot, and he's like, the thing about Pixar movies that is important is that it's not about the hero accomplishing the thing at the end. It's about how throughout the movie they fail constantly, but then keep trying.
Gotcha.
And he's like, it's that moment that he wanted to capture in this, and that is that with him not being able to touch the kid. And he's like, the problem with that is that he sees himself in his kid, and he can solve any problem by punching things, but you can't punch.
You can punch a kid, but you get in a lot of trouble.
You can't punch
Take it
getting
from your
in
friend
touch
Greg.
with a kid and all of that. God, you're just a monster in these reactions.
I'm just
with
saying,
kids.
don't worry. Are you talking about sexy babies again?
Yeah, let's not do that. So they start the story late. So in the beginning of the game, like the kid's already there, and there's like some jumping around where you don't know how they met, you don't know the exact connection or whatever, and he's like, they did that on purpose because they were inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where there was moments where they would just introduce a character and like everyone was on the same page of not understanding why they were there.
Yeah.
And he's like, so whether you're a veteran of the series or a newcomer, you're equally confused as to what's going on because he wanted everyone to be on the same page. He said there's a bazillion Easter eggs, even in the trailers, that are already out there. Things that people haven't even seen, like the hardcore fans. It's so obvious he cares about this franchise a lot, and it was cool to see him kind of reinvigorated by it, and to hear him talk about the team that he has assembled working on this. It really is an example of a franchise that grew with this team, and the team grew up, and this is now the game that they want to put out, that they can technically achieve, and that they're proud of, and they want to put out there in 2018, up against all these amazing games. And I was like, dude, you freaking sold me, man.
Awesome, dude.
It was great.
That's great. Yeah, everything we've seen looks great. I can't wait for more.
Yeah.
You didn't get the release date out of them.
No release date, early 2018.
Did they say?
But like I said, early 2018.
Just make sure. Keep me on your toes. All right, great. Well, Tim, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're still at E3. We're still seeing more games. And yes, Candy Andy is right there. Come here, Candy Andy.
Get over here,
what
Candy
games are
Andy.
you going to see, you sexy little man, huh? Hispanic heartthrob, Andy Cortez.
You can play some games back at the sex dungeon.
All right, go away. There's the sex dungeon we're staying in. You can catch it. Kind of funny. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Well, plenty more coverage. We're going to go do some more reacts. We're going to see more games. But until then, it's been our pleasure to serve you.